Be happy. Be happy right now. All right, so how's San Antonio doing today? Today's Saturday. Let's go. How's San Antonio doing today? Let's go.
San Antonio's winning today. That's what's happening today.
Yeah, oh yeah. And listen, don't get me wrong, we're going to dive into content right off the jump, right? We want to know how many folks in here are still hustling and doing this by themselves or with a business partner. Raise your hand. A pretty good percentage of the room. I want to know how many people in here have gone from hustler to CEO. Who has a company that has acquisition managers, disposition managers, transaction coordinators, CFOs, business development managers? I mean, the list goes on. Sales director, the list goes on. Raise your hand if you have already structured that kind of company. Raise your hand. Not one person in the room. We're in the right place. Where? Oh, Donnie, you don't count.
All right, one more.
You don't count. Where we at?
So 2 people.
And listen, guys, don't be ashamed if you haven't. That's okay, because is that Gage? Is that Gage Rue? Holy shit, Gage, what are you doing here?
100K now everywhere.
Guys, this is Gage. This is the guy that won. This was the one white guy at 100K club, and there was like 1,000 people. I don't know how many people, but he won $100,000, guys. So let's give it up for the man, right? Listen, you have to get familiar on celebrating other people's wins if you're ever going to be somebody amazing and massively successful in life. You guys understand that? Yeah. I'm going to ask again. If I better get a harder yes. All right. Are you going to celebrate other people's victories for them? Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. So anyway, Mr. Gage, thank you for being here, brother. He's from Tucson. We're definitely in the right room. We're in the right room, right? And we got the right subject today.
Sure. So how's the last 2 days been? Have you guys got a good amount of information? Okay, good.
Let me put this down, by the way. Give me 1 second. So real quick, and we're going to get into building a company, building an army and stuff like that, but how many people in here live in San Antonio? All right, so watch this, all right? The first basketball team, 2 stories real quick. First time my mom brought me and my brother over, sewer system, San Isidro, California, went through San Diego, right? We were living in Escondido, California. I happen to like basketball. The only basketball team that I can think of that sounded Hispanic was San Antonio. I didn't speak English, so San Antonio seemed like, oh, I'll just go for those guys. They must be a Mexican team or something, right? So what I wanted to see how many Spurs fans there is in here, right? So when I say this, who's going to follow? Go Spurs, go! Go Spurs, go! Go Spurs, go! Let's go, baby, let's go. So, guys, I've been a Spurs fan for probably at least, I went through the whole, when we drafted Duncan, because we had the shitty year with Will Perdue and, all that, whatever. And Sean Elliott, the Memorial Day miracle, remember that? Right? Boom. So, guys, I've been through it with you guys, through the mud and the lows and the highs, okay? So, let's get going. Let's teach these people how to start building a 7-figure company.
Guys, there's an important question, and we're going to get to the nitty-gritty, to the strategies as much as we can within the time we're given, but this stuff is important, so please, Alex, why don't you say what before we talk about
guys,
this
so
slide.
there was a question that we were asked maybe 6 months ago, and it was this: what's more important than right now?
Can I reiterate that?
Go ahead.
Guys, what's more important? The first thing that comes to your mind, sir, the first thing that comes to your mind, what's more important than right now? Your daughter? Okay. What's more important than right now, this moment right now? Nothing. What's more important than right now? You guys hear that? Nothing. Is that the right answer?
That's the right answer. Nothing. The past, the future, it doesn't exist. So, look, I don't have kids. Congrats to Habibi here. You just got pregnant. Yeah. And
wait. He just got pregnant?
Well, that's what it's called, like, right? Like, when they get married, they're one. So, yeah, he just got pregnant.
Gotcha.
You have 2 kids. I'm sure there's a lot of parents in the room. So, you guys, first of all, you made the investment to come here. You took the time away. So, when it comes to this question, when there's nothing, but the most important thing right now is nothing. It's here. It's this present moment. Take advantage of that because you took time away from your kids. You're here to learn. And honestly, I was here the last 2 days. I saw a lot of people not really present. Yeah, they were back and forth learning when they can, but you guys took your time away from your family. So please, for the duration of this presentation, be present.
Let me ask this. Let me ask this, 'cause that's so important. Do you guys think that's important, guys? Yeah. Charlie, you think that's important? Hell yeah. I think you gotta question yourself these 2 things, right? Am I here because I really want to fucking succeed? Like it hurts. Like like 86% of the world, by the way, are in pain. They're frustrated, right? They're frustrated. They're unhappy. Whatever's making them unhappy, whether it's their job, their marriage, their relationships, their family. 86% of people are in pain. Okay? Now, that brings me to my next question is, am I here this weekend just to keep feeding that bullshit lie that I tell myself that I'm going to be successful? Am I here just to continue to make myself believe that I'm headed in the right direction? Or am I really here because I really want to fucking be successful? What's the answer? Why are you here?
Let me chime in on that. And guys, we all here want to be successful. We all started from nothing, and this is a common denominator, and that's the common denominator for a lot of people. We call this is the X factor that we have. And I want to share something that for the longest time, I thought success was the ultimate happiness. And why this is strong right here, why what's more important than right now is nothing, is being present. The ugliest thing that you can do is work for something your whole life and get it. And I'm one of those. I was one of those. And once you reach that and you see everybody's happy, laughing with way less, you go travel to another country and you see they have way less older people, younger people, and they're so thankful. They're so present. There's nothing more important than that moment. I started to wonder what the heck is wrong with me. I achieved success being an immigrant. I achieved success being at a younger age compared to maybe some others. Obviously not Alex Saenz. Alex Saenz 20, you became successful as 19 or 18, 19. And don't lose that. Don't chase something just because you thought it was right at that time. Remember, everything evolves. And yeah, you don't want to, you lose some moments that you can never get back. And especially if someone passes or anything, you don't want to lose that. So make sure that you chase it for the right reason.
I'll add on to that. I've been to a ton of events, personal development and real estate, and time after time, like
how much money have you invested in yourself over the past 12 months? And
12 months?
In self-development.
Over 100,000 last 12 months.
You guys hear that? Over 100,000. I've been there. I see the accounts.
No, it's
by himself. Self-development has nothing to do with business, like self-growth. Spiritual, mental. So continue.
So time after these events, it's what I come to realize is we don't require more information. We require more application, right?
But can you repeat that for the
We-
people in the back over here?
We
For the people in the back.
We don't require more information, we require more application. And this is something that, like for me, like I have not implemented 30% of the stuff in real estate that I've learned. I haven't. Have you? No. Or even, I don't even, 20%. Learned so much, but I haven't applied everything. So don't come to these events just for the information overload. Come, take your 3 to 5 things you're going to implement right away and start your journey that way. Because it's application that we need to focus on more than any information. But don't get me wrong, we're going to give a lot of key pointers to save you a lot of pain and struggle that we had to deal with in our journey. So let's get to it.
Let me, what you guys had a great point, by the way. Raise your hand, and I'm going to raise my hand. If you've been chasing money for a majority of your life. Wait, raise your hand if you had your hand down when I asked that. Who hasn't been chasing money for a majority of their life? Because you're in the wrong room, right? You're in the wrong room. So, you know what's crazy? Sal made a great point. We spend so much of our lives chasing money because money equals what? Success. When we were kids, right? We were like, oh, that guy has money. He's successful. And then we started our entrepreneur journey. If I become rich and I get a lot of money, I'll be what? I'll be successful. Okay? But the crazy part is, and Sal actually forgot to tell me this when we partnered up. All right? The crazy part is we spend so much of our lives chasing money that when we get there, imagine spending, 20 plus, 30 plus years chasing money. And then you get there and it gets old like that. How crazy is that? You get there, you're like, oh my God, I have everything I need. I got the cars and, the house and I'm, taking care of a bunch of people and I got the watches and the clothes, blah, 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 money in the bank, right?
Because happiness is what?
We'll get there, right? Because, let me finish my story.
All right.
Totally cut that off.
Like, you already know what he's going to say.
Yeah.
So I got bad news for you. I got some good news and some bad news for you, okay? When you start making $100,000 a month, did you guys hear that? When your company starts making $100,000 a month, or you yourself, because in July of 2016 is when the first month where Sal and I, our companies, started making $100,000 a month. July of 2016. The month before that, I don't know if we lost $5,000 or I don't know what the hell happened that month, but we obviously stuck through it, right? And we started making $100K a month. Boom, 120. Boom, 150. We started adding marketing channels, dumping 80-something%, which we're going to
But to go on that, because we went back, we actually had a meeting. We're like, we're going to turn this ship around. Like something has to change. Then we start it was us. We had to implement more things at that time.
You know what I call that?
I'm trying to make, if you guys allow me to make it, right? Then that was July 2016, and then once Sal and I, once everything was good and we started paying ourselves out, and now Sal and I are netting ourselves individually over $100K a month, right? From this business, that business, blah, 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 blah. Guess what, guys? Sal, how long, be completely honest with these folks right now. How long before it got really old, making all this money going into your pocket? How long?
In under 60 days, I bought my dream car, and in under 60 days,
Did you guys hear that?
So
he spent 30, he's only 30, but he spent 20-something years of his life chasing money, and it got old in 2 months. And why? So what does that tell you? You were going to say it earlier.
success is not happiness.
You mean money's not happiness?
Money is not happiness.
So
Success,
what is
happiness is the ultimate success.
Did you guys hear that? Happiness is the ultimate success. Happiness. And we live in a world of her, 86%. I know we got to get into that. We live in a world of her. So what's worse now? Now you have comparanoia. Well, in order for me to be successful, I got to look like those guys. I got to drive what they're driving. I got to live in the places they're living. I got to have the businesses they have. I got to be on the stages. I got to be on, podcasts and blah, 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 blah. Now you have comparanoia, and you add that to the 86%. Where are we headed as a society? It's going to get worse. So don't become part of that 86%. Be happy. Be happy right now with what you have. Look at this. You got your beautiful baby right here. You guys have a beautiful marriage. You got your beautiful baby. She's here. I hope you're happy. Did you guys hear that? Every day. So first and foremost, I want you to give yourself a round of applause for being grateful and happy to be here and being yourselves. Yes? Let's get to it.
Guys, so just a quick summary info about us. So we actually have separate real estate companies. I have my own, and then they're partnered in one. We get that question a lot, so just want to clear the air on that. We both run seven-figure operations. I've been seven figures back-to-back years. This is my third year. I run a real estate company called OfferHome.com, and then they run a company called OfferKey and National Cash Offer. We're heavy in the real estate community. We've been gurus for, 2 years.
Damn it.
Gurus.
Sean, you know what's crazy? Sean Terry told us that we would be gurus one day.
I just AKA servants. That's who we are.
Yeah, and the word guru means that you're an expert at something, but we, like my spiritual mentor that's sitting there, we bastardize that word now, right? I'm guilty of it.
It was, yeah.
You got these gurus out there, we bastardize this word, but continue.
We have our All In Entrepreneurs podcast. Who's heard our podcast at all? Sweet. Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, by the way. Thank you guys for listening. All right, we do that for free, and we do that for you guys because we didn't have that when we were coming up in the game, okay? Right. So I hope you guys are learning and implementing. Most important, like you said, knowledge is not power. Knowledge applied, right? When you apply that knowledge, that's power.
Yeah. And then just some resources for investors and then our community website. Go ahead.
Where are you now versus where you want to be? We're going to get into that.
Yeah, in the next
one. And let's go right here. Let's go.
Guys, so levels of real estate, this is something that you're required to know in order to be able to scale a company from 0 deals to 30 plus deals a month. What's up? Yeah, who hasn't done their first deal yet? Be honest, we've all been there.
Raise your hand. We've all been there, guys. Raise your hand if you haven't done one deal yet.
Okay.
One deal.
You're in the right room.
Hold on. I hope, does this work down here? Baby, you haven't done it? My wife hasn't done a deal either. Hold on. But she wrote the bandit signs. Give me 1 second. You, sir. Can I get a mic here, Elijah, please, if you don't mind? Where's Elijah? Or can I get a mic?
Mr. Aaron. Fresh Bevins.
This man is always fresh. He's the freshest man, freshest dressed in San Antonio, right? Sir, what's your name?
Christian.
Go ahead.
My name's Christian.
I don't think this is working. Guys? Test it. Test it. Test it.
Hello.
Test it.
Testing.
Ruben? What's going on? All right. It's cool. We'll run with it. What's your name?
My name is Christian Hernandez.
Christian Hernandez. How long have you been at it?
I've been at it for 7 months.
7 months. Why haven't you got your first deal?
I haven't got my first deal because I haven't been consistent.
Boom. Next guy. Who hasn't got their first deal? Thank you for being honest. Sir, what's your name?
Just say it. Yeah.
Ron Suarez.
Okay. How long have you been at it?
About 4 or 5 months.
4 or 5 months. Why haven't you got your first deal?
Consistency.
Stop. Thank you. Who's the next guy? Sir, what's your name? Jesse. How long have you been at it?
Over a year.
Why haven't you got your first deal? All right.
So
listen. Thank you guys.
Wait. This is actually a great point. So it's not information that we're lacking; it's application with consistency that we're lacking, right? I'm sure especially after this weekend, I'm sure we have a few, 1 or 2 gems of marketing that we can go out and seek our first deal, right? So I just want to make sure everybody's clear on that because it was 3 back-to-back answers on consistency. So look, as a new aspiring investor, real estate entrepreneur, as a newbie, the first thing that you should be you should be learning is to understand the business. If you don't understand the business, you can't take the action, you can't go with the flow of things, and you're really going to be bottlenecked. So make sure you dive deep into these type of events, podcasts, and YouTube. I mean, Max has a great channel. I saw him earlier. There's there's a ton of information.
Overload.
And when I started at
Overload.
18, it wasn't overloaded like this.
Two or three people. Nick
you had-
Reyes, Sean Terry, Cody Sperber.
You had to dig, and now it's everywhere, so please take advantage of that. Now, as a beginner, once you get your first deal, you got to keep going. You got to get more experience so you can then comprehend everything and know the process. After your first deal, like my first deal, I did it. I'm not going to lie, I couldn't teach someone how to do it because I just kind of did it. It just happened. Like it just,
Alex,
like little by little.
How long did it take you to get your first deal?
9 months.
9 months. Were you consistent?
No,
Okay.
no. Now I am.
Okay.
So, so in order to teach somebody, in order to scale an organization to 7 figures, you need to understand and comprehend the whole business. Now, when you get to mid-level, then when you understand and comprehend the business, then you can start delegating and teaching others how to do it, and then take those responsibilities of the business. And then experience, you have to know the entire business, and then in our next slide, you're going to see that every department that we have broken apart, so you can then build a rock star team. I've seen a ton of investors that have come to our office and events where they just get burnt out. They stay at the beginner newbie level, meaning they only comprehend the business.
Beginner, mid-level?
Right? Yeah. Beginner mid-level, where they comprehend the business, but they can't teach it to others. So then they're bottlenecked in their business because they can't hire anybody to then run their organization. So,
Okay. People, data, speed. People, data, speed. Who in here who grossed over $1 million in real estate gross profits assigned deals? Raise your hand if you grossed over $1 million. We got the gentleman in the back there. There's one. Donnie, stop. You don't count. All right, so one guy. Where? Grossed over $1 million? Where? Attendees? Attendees, not speakers, attendees. Okay, all right. Well, people, data, speed. You guys ready? Sal, how much money, or my CFO's here. Where's my CFO? Where's our CFO? Brittany? She's in the back, who cares? Sal, how much money did we spend in 2019 in just real estate marketing?
$1,077,800.
$868.90.
Yes.
Did you guys hear that? I know you guys have heard me say that before. If you pay attention, Brittany, how much money in real estate marketing cost, just real estate marketing, none of the other companies, just real estate? How much money did we spend last year? You don't know all the numbers? Me and Sal know. Well, Sal and I, it's our money, so like we have to know every single cent. So, $1,077,868.90. And guess what? I'm going to know that number until what year? Until next year, right? So we've actually spent more money in real estate marketing dollars than a lot of, I would say 80-90% of companies in this entire country as far as wholesale goes. Is that correct? Because nobody, one person in the room here raised. So we know what the hell we're talking about when we tell people, hey, use these tools. Hey, use this resource. You think if we're spending $1 million, we're going to be skip tracing and cold calling and blah, 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 blah with the wrong people and using the wrong tools when you're spending $1 million? We literally give away the game. I actually said that right on my Instagram. So remember this, guys. People, data, speed. I say this all the time because that is our business that we're in. People, data, speed. Okay?
guys, so there's 2 types of individuals. I've been both. Solopreneur versus a team. The team with the best players wins the game, right? Our team, our organization it's a stout talent, right? But in order to do that, you gotta stop playing all the parts. And if you go and if you took the notes on the previous 2 slides, understand the business, comprehend it, and so then you can build a powerhouse like that cheesy picture we chose, and crush the game.
Why would you say a lot of people are stuck on solopreneur?
Because they don't trust themselves. Because
Is that true?
it's one of the
Is
biggest
that one of the
reasons.
main reasons why people kind of stay on their own and not start building an army around them? Is it because you don't trust others?
Yeah.
delegation.
They don't trust others, but most importantly, they don't trust themselves. They don't
In what
trust.
aspect?
They don't trust themselves as a leader, as somebody that can. I mean, let alone we're all trying to take care of ourselves, and let alone add
Take
somebody
care of
else.
other people.
It's a big
Great point.
responsibility.
Mr. Sal, did you have something to add to that?
No, I was saying that when I owned a car dealership, and I try to do everything myself, thinking that I'm going to save money.
Sal, can I tell them when I met you what you had going on? Sal was the finance guy. He was the salesperson. He was the mechanic. Sal did everything. Sal did everything. Is that correct?
Yeah. I thought I was going to, first of all, save money. Second of all, knew it all. Third, I didn't trust to teach someone else, or I didn't even know how to teach someone else because I thought I did it best. Raise your hand if you ever thought that. You do it
Yeah,
best.
that's a
right?
huge one too. Thinking that you do it best.
That you do it best. No one's going to do it as good as you. And surprise, there is people that can do it better than you. Hey, someone made a car, invented a car. Someone took a spaceship to space, right? So if someone can do your job at least, or worst case scenario, 80% of your level, you're fine. Just delegate that. But before you do that, make sure that you have done that. Because when you delegate, you expect that person to not get sick.
Yeah.
You expect that person not to call that day off or whatever. Then you need to step in. You can't fall in shambles when that person leaves you or whatever thing happens. So you have to make sure that you do everything. You beat the concrete. You have a brick and mortar business that you actually have worked every single aspect of before you actually delegate. And the problem with people is either they're afraid to delegate or they delegate too quickly.
And we say this all the time. You must, and I would write this down
You
actually.
were going to say this. Yeah,
Yeah.
write this one down.
You must know the process before you delegate the process.
And then what happens when you, in order to,
Delegate, you must,
No,
or in order to elevate, you must delegate, right? Otherwise, you're stuck like this guy, handling all the things, not being able to spend time with their family, not being able to travel.
Bob the plumber.
Bob the
yeah. You want me to tell that story real quick? 1 minute. I know we got 20 something minutes. It's all right. I think Vanilla Ice is performing at some point, right? So, real quick, have you guys ever heard that old story about Bob the plumber? All right. So your toilet breaks down or something, or the sink is clogged up, right? And then you call 480 blah 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 whatever and then the guy Bob's plumbing service. And then you're like, hey, I got, hello, hey, this is Bob. What can I help you with? Hey, Bob, I got, my toilet's broken. Okay, sounds good. I'll be over there, right? Then Bob shows up, and he's like 70 years old, right? This guy is just dying. Sorry if anybody in here is 70 years old, but this guy is like, he is beat. He's been doing this for 50, 40, whatever years.
That will happen if you.
And yeah, and he shows up, and you're like, holy shit. So Bob answered the phone, and he's still the plumber. What's going to happen in Bob's business when Bob dies? It's over with. Bob's plumbing service is no more, right?
Bob bills you as well. Bob sends you an
Bob's
invoice.
the bill. Yeah, he's the bill. He's the accounting and billing, and yeah.
This is the one
Guys, this is powerful here. Everybody started Traction, and then if anybody's read Traction, the entrepreneur operating system, this is our operating system here. This is a real estate or business in general. This is our system that that we have put together based off our knowledge. Because Traction is a very powerful book, but every business is a little different, right? So yeah, this is our operating system here. Systems, data. Now, when we talk about data, guys, and we're not sitting here talking about listsource and Rebo Gateway. We're not talking about that. We're talking about key performance indicators. Tracking down your marketing, tracking down the performance and the productivity of your employees. You know what I mean? That's what we're talking about when it comes to data. You gotta have numbers on your business. If you don't know your business, Sal?
You don't own a business.
Did you hear that?
You don't think Trump knows his numbers? He owns a business. He's the president now. Whether you like him or you don't, the people that ran his campaigns, they probably know numbers. What state has the most people that like him? They already predicted if this state likes him, probably this state will probably going to get X amount of votes. Things like that. It's the same thing for any business. You go into real estate, you send a letter. Okay, I got X amount of money, X return based on what I sent. I can see what's happening based on my people's performance as well, or team members' performance. You can predict what's going to happen next. If you don't track, you don't know what's going to happen next.
I love that.
Otherwise, you're always going to be in a roller coaster. Oh, I had a great month. And then next month, this is crazy. How am I going to pay my bills? And then next month, you're going to be in a financial roller coaster.
We've only been tracking for 2 years, by the way. KPIs, we've only been tracking for 2 years, 2019, 2018. Our CFO, she probably ran off again, right? Oh, she's right there. When Brittany came on to our company, by the way, Ruben, can you fix that real quick if you don't mind? When Brittany came on, I mean, it took her months. Me and Sal were just a mess, right? But holy smokes, it's been life-changing for us, right? Because now we know, like, okay, Sal, during quarter 2 and quarter 3, direct mail gave us a 9.51x return. Okay, what are we gonna do? Are you guys still with us here? All right, so I'll say again, 2019, all right, our CFO gives us all the numbers. Hey guys, look what quarter 2 and quarter 3. During quarter 2 and quarter 3, we sent out the Google postcard, right? We sent out the Google postcard, and we got a 9.51x return during quarter 2 and quarter 3. We're sending out 100,000 units or 110,000 units a month. What do you think we're going to do in 2020? You see the power of data in your organization?
And you know what? When we started, by the way, in 2017 we tracked, but it was all over the place. The tracking was so off. There was nothing real to track. 2018 and 19, it was the important things to track, which you can have anything. You can track seconds of the day if you want to in a business. But what we did before, we were tracking month to month. Okay, what's this month? Last month, okay, next month we're going to do this. Now we're tracking actually years. We're looking at last January and this January. Now, last February and this February, we spent an X amount of money last year. Our return was X amount of money, and ROI was like this. Now this year, let's predict something like this, but learning from last year's mistake, we're actually going to change it up, tweak it. Obviously, use the numbers that you got to improve the business. Don't have the numbers just hanging on the wall or in the computer or a spreadsheet. It's not going to do you any good. Apply it. And we apply that this month, last month actually, when we did our numbers. Our profit margin went up how many times higher, Brittany? How much?
30%.
30% since she's been
The
there. Look at it!
You know what? Hiring a CFO was, oh my God. Thank God.
Blessing.
Because me and Sal, we got too much going on.
Could you guys ever do that if you were still a solopreneur?
No.
How can you? If you're the name solopreneur, right? You're by yourself. You know it all.
Yeah. From hustler to CEO, right? So, listen, guys. I know you guys. If you guys are aware or not, but if you guys at some point want to go from hustlers, because that's what we are. The wholesale game, we're hustlers, right? We're chasing deals every month. So, if you ever want to go from hustler to CEO, you're going to have to build an army at some point. You can't be the CEO of yourself. Stop making business cards or Instagram bios, and it's just you, and it says CEO, ABC Acquisitions. Who are you operating, right? Like, there's nobody. So you're going to have to build an army at some point, okay? And that's going to cost you some money. It's going to be an investment, but is it a well-spent investment? Alex and Sal? This is one of the youngest CEOs I know. I know.
2 times since I got it.
Yeah, his sales director, Andy Garcia, then he has, a bunch of, like, a team under him and et cetera. And it's beautiful. I'm like, damn, at 23, you're a CEO. I don't know what the hell we do.
I wish we were CEOs. We were hustling back in the day. See, the transition, though, before you skip on that, the transition is a hustler, a business owner, then CEO. A lot of us are stuck on the hustler, and then we move to a business owner. Guess who's a business owner? Bob the plumber.
He's a business owner.
He was a hustler, then he became a business owner at 70 years old. But he's never a CEO.
He's kind of a slave to his own business, right?
Guys, I'm just going to throw it out there. A great book that actually explains this process is called The E-Myth. So
Revisited, right?
Yeah, Revisited E-Myth, yeah. Yeah, it actually explains that process.
The E-Myth.
E-Myth,
Edward?
like,
Yeah, the E-Myth.
yeah.
All right, so leadership, guys, it's going to take a lot of leadership. You want to build a company, you got to be a good leader. And if you're not a good leader, you better start reading some John Maxwell books or do something. Because I don't know a CEO out there that is not a leader in their organization. All right, so leadership, it's going to start with you and it's going to end with you. Okay? Are we like mom and dad now at the office?
We are. If we have a bad, literally, if we had a bad day coming to the office, not between us, like literally just individually had a bad day, the office would feel it. Like, what's going on with these guys? They would come to the office. They would feel. You would feel it like in
Like
the
you
floor.
know when your mom is like
Yeah, yeah.
hurt, right?
They're paying attention to everything.
Wait, I got a question. So who's mom and dad?
I'm Harrier. Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
I'm Harry.
So now your team members are paying attention to everything you do. How you dress. Guess what? If you come to the office dressed like shit, guess how they're going to dress?
Our whole male office is wearing buns. Like they're buns all the way.
Yeah. So whether you want to admit this or not, you are setting the example every single day. You go on flip-flops, don't get upset if somebody 2 days later comes in flip-flops. Okay? You go in sweatpants, you know that whole like CEOs wear sweatpants bullshit. Like maybe multi-billionaires, that's bullshit. CEOs go in there and they're ready to go. Like we put our uniform on every single day. And we want our people to watch us, right? Not only our work ethic, how we dress, how we live our lives, how we talk, everything, because we want them to be the best versions of themselves they can be, so they can actually contribute to the company, and we can actually, on a competitive level, you know, be one of the best companies out there. So keep that in mind. Macro mindset, Sal, please, you explain macro mindset pretty well.
Oh my God. Guys, I sound like a computer sometimes because I speak fast. I don't know why.
By the way, Sal's the smartest guy between us. I'm the dumbest.
Thank
He's in
you, but
between.
no, you the reason he picked me because that's one of my gifts. You have to identify your gift. Everybody has a gift over here. Out of the three of us, every single one has a gift. We have some common gifts, but we have a dominating gifts. And one of my biggest gifts is actually being long-sighted. Being long-sighted means that you can see at a macro level rather than a micro level. A lot of hustlers or beginner business owners, they see micro. They see what's tomorrow, what's the day after. Actually, a lot of people from 95, all they see is paycheck to paycheck. That's the micro mindset. You want to look at macro. You want to see yourself 10 years ahead. You want to see yourself 50 years ahead. You want to see yourself 60 years ahead. Those are like big milestones that you set in your life, and then you would have other goals or separating that because you need some instant gratification in between. And I'm going to share something. On the 25th, February 25th, 2006, I landed to the United States. I'm a Catholic from Iraq, came here, and February 25th, 2006. This February 25th, unintentionally, 14 years to the day, to the dot, I bought my dream house without knowing it was going to be 14. How? Thank you. But how did that happen? By thinking long-sighted, by being long-sighted, always seeing what's next. Now what's next? Now the next goal, 2023 is all in jet, having a jet. Next, buying your dream car, paying off parents' mortgage, buying the house. Next. You need to have those things aligned rather than just seeing tomorrow. Because guess what? It gets old.
So we're all chasing financial freedom. And then, let's just say that you flipped 10 deals this month, right? You flipped 10 deals. Well, I got bad news for you. If you're the only guy in your company, you're still not going to get to see your little girl much. And your wife. So what's the point of having financial freedom if you don't have the freedom of time at some point? Right? There's no point. A lot of people don't talk about that. They don't talk about, well, yeah, I want financial freedom. I don't want to have to ever worry about money or have my family ever worry about money. But they don't talk about, I also want the freedom of time to actually enjoy the fruits of my labor. Can I get an amen about that?
Guys, feel free to text this number. We'll actually communicate with you. This actually comes to us, and we can communicate with you with any updates if we throw some new contracts, new update that we think that anything that comes up new in the real estate entrepreneurship, we're gonna go ahead and send that through that message.
And guys, I ran into Max at the Aloft, right, the hotel, and I ran into him. He was kind of in and out, right? Came in, had a flight at 6. Ran into him. Me and my spiritual mentor run into him, And, we're talking about, well, what are you going to talk about? Oh, I'm going to talk about this. I said, listen, brother, I was praying the other night. It was like Wednesday. I was in prayer, and the Lord told me to say this. Limited beliefs, like for you guys to actually believe in yourselves. That's what the Lord told me. That's what the Lord told me. He's like, hey, when you're in San Antonio, you need to tell these people to believe in themselves. You understand what that means? Like, raise your hand, and I want you to be 100% honest with us, because everybody, we lived in fear. We're not living in fear anymore, but we were like heavily in fear, right? Think about it. Sal and I are investing $100,000 in just real estate marketing in a month. At some point, we might have been fearful of that, right? So raise your hand if you truly do believe that, you're having a tough time really believing in yourselves, limited beliefs. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Be honest with yourself. I want you to declare it, right? I want you to, because if you raise your hand and say, you know what, I do have a tough time, but that's going to change.
And whether you raise your hand or not, you can't escape the truth in your mind. So you don't have to show us, but you have to overcome that. Become aware, like, you know what, I am fearful. Let me do something about it. Let me take action. Like I said, it's not information that you guys need. It's action, right? Like we're living in comfort, and I'm glad this got to this. Comfort or growth, right? You can't have both. Comfort or growth, because you cannot have both, right? Growth. Let your soul shine. Let your soul lead. Forget about the mediocrity of living in fear and living with limited beliefs. I've been there. We've been there. There's some projects where we're like, oh, how are we going to do that? You know what? We're going to do it because God got us. God has us, right? God is on our side. God is on your side. So forget about the limited beliefs. It's all possible, but you have to overcome that and know who's providing.
So do me a favor. Stand up real quick. Stand up. Stand up. If you don't mind, please. I want you to say this three times, loud and clear. All right? I want you to close your eyes. I'm going to close my eyes. I want you to close your eyes. And I just want you to say this, because this is what God told me to come here to do. You're going to yell this at the top of your lungs, and you're going to think about all the bullshit you've been through, right? All the heartache, all the hardships, all the pain, the frustration of not succeeding, of the frustration of trying and just running into a brick wall, okay? You guys have your eyes closed, and you're going to say this, and you're going to say this right after me. I'm going to yell it, and then you're going to yell it, okay? 1, 2, 3. I believe in myself. 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 Let's go. We're good, baby. We're done.